Monday we have to go to school and go to work.
Yeah.
Rough day. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I hope you're all doing well today. It's Monday. Some days, some people on the other side of the planet already had their Mondays all over with. Good for you. We're just starting out here on the East Coast. It's rainy. Always finding new things. But I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And we do the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show where we talk about Agile and Scrum and practical and tactical terms to help you get home to your family and friends at a decent time so you can do other things too besides work. So if you really love work, we find ways you do more work and bring more stuff to your customer. So it works either way, frees up some time rather than doing all these meetings and allows you to code and build some really neat stuff. And we try to do it in a way of having less stress as you do it and have a little fun along the way. And today's Monday. This is my second cup this morning. It is like 5:57. Show 140. We're almost, I guess, 180 days will be 6 months. We got 40 more days, so about a little more than a month, and we'll have done this every day for 6 months. I was actually debating whether or not I was going to do this morning, only because the office is a complete mess, which you can't see, thank goodness. Because I found out my sewer line underneath my house going to the street was backed up yesterday. So we were cleaning up the house and nothing went down in the basement. And I stopped and I had to clear a path and try to clean the pipes and all that kind of fun stuff. So just like world, you have plans to go do stuff and then something happens and you have to give that all up. So your life is just like, keep this thing down. And the boys here, by the way, at 5 a.m. in the morning, having a good old time, and stole my phone. Anyway, so just make it through the Monday and have some fun. Did a lot of stuff over the weekend, got a lot of stuff done. Like we talked about before, kind of planned an MVP, did more stuff, even though the sewer lines were all messed up from yesterday. Figured out what can be done and what can't be done. Very similar to where I've been in places where a bug would happen, and it wasn't necessarily a production bug. Production bugs you got to go fix right away, right? But it would be a bug or an issue, and people like freaking out. Gotta get it done now. I'm like, well, when do you drop code? Well, at the end of the week. Or a month from now, or are you going to drop the code today? And they're like, no, it'll be a while, like a week or two. And why are you freaking out, right? So it's just like with the sewer pipes. Sewer pipe broke. Okay. Can I do anything about it now? No. Can I prep for it just to keep it from really being a mess? Yes. After that, there ain't much more I can do until the plumber gets here, which will be hopefully today sometime. And work it. So don't freak out about it, right? Don't get all stressed. We got to fix it now. There's nothing you can do. And sometimes you just have to wait unless you change the system. So anyway, I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about the thing I mentioned yesterday that I forgot to say about because I forgot to mention it. And then talk about calendar stuff on Outlook because when I talked to my coachee the other day, we were talking about he used my idea about how to handle Outlook calendars and marking things tentative, which is cool. I think it's cool. And I get a little clarification that and why I actually held the other day I had the little tiny chicken coop. This is a G-scale chicken coop. It's pretty cool. You put little chickens in it, put it on your little train set. And then on Definition Ready, I saw someone post something about Definition Ready that actually made me have to reply to it because I was really shocked. Wasn't shocked, but okay, I get it. About the definition already, what it really means. So first I want to talk about what's missing. So for the longest time, nobody recognized that the clock was off by an hour because I forgot to set it back for daylight savings time. So it was really, right now it would be about 7 o'clock, and it's just fixed it. Now it's saying it's about 6 o'clock, which is pretty much on target. So I thought it was funny that we do all this stuff, and everybody's like, why? And why I'm bringing up? Everybody's like, you got to be 100% a test for everything. Nothing ever goes wrong. Stuff goes wrong. People don't pick up on it, even Automated tools don't pick up, but automated tools are going to pick up what people tell them to pick up because they're just code, right? Programmed to do so. People make mistakes. You know what happens? It's not a big deal. Why didn't you pick up on that code thing? Why didn't you do that? We do all these reviews. Stuff happens. I mean, we've done about a month's worth of episodes, and I got no comments on the clock in the back being an hour off, and I didn't notice it until I was moving things around the other day, and I go, "Oh, clock's wrong," because I was freaking out. I thought I was going to be late. I was like, "Oh my God, where did I lose an hour from?" And Mister told you, keep it down. Okay. So anyway, Eddie's sitting right here, driving me. He's not driving me nuts. He's just there. So, but anyway, so, everybody gets upset about stuff, but you're going to miss stuff, and then stuff happens. And the question, what do you do about it, and how do you fix it? But you shouldn't panic and go crazy. And, but what's what beauty of sprints is that you can fix it the next week or whenever your sprint cycle is, or the next day or whatever. It's okay, right? I mean, unless it's in flight safety world where you're flying a plane and something falls, or it's a mission critical or something like that, that's a different story. Got to do a lot more testing, got more levels. But most of the stuff we do, the world's not going to end. No one gets hurt. So that's probably about 99.9% of the software out there has nothing to do with people's safety. Anyway, so that was one thing I just want to mention, the clock and how no one picked it up. The other thing is talk about the calendar. And one of the things I did say when you do, one of my things about saving time is everybody gets invites for calendars. And I want to make a clarification on the calendar invites. The meetings where you get a bunch of people invited, I always mark them tentative, no matter what they are, right? For daily scrums, teams I coach, I tell the scrum master, oh, by the way, I'm going to just accept all your invites as tentative. Because one, if you ever change your invite and put a agenda or whatever, if I don't mark it tentative in the calendar, I don't get the notice. But now there's a different level, which is your boss, which we talked about. And that goes to the chicken coop, is why I brought the chicken coop up. There's a story about the chickens and the pigs, right? You might have heard that one. I got to make a vegan version of it because I don't like it. And I know there's a lot of vegetarians and vegans out there, so I need a new theory. I was thinking like a apple tree or a tree that bears fruit, first like a carrot, where you got to dig the carrot out of the ground and then you eat the carrot. Or the apple tree just bears fruit and still lives. So there might be something there that I can use. I think I'm still working on that one. A more universal accepted description. But anyway, so chickens are usually the bosses, and they have a say into it, but they don't have a vested interest into actually building the code. Well, when your boss is a one-on-one meeting, don't accept them as tentative, unless you first tell your boss that you're going to accept them as tentative. So if it's a one-on-one meeting and someone's really requesting it, a single one, don't necessarily confirm that you have time and look at that. If it's available, then either accept it or say, hey, I'm going to mark it tentative. I got like triple booked for something and I want to make sure I'm available and they don't need me for that meeting, and do some communications, right? We're all about having the conversation. So that's important. If it's a one-on-one meeting that you have a lot of, that's okay to accept tentative. Just let the person know on the other side that you are going to accept a tentative. And as you get closer to the meeting, so this is a great conversation thing. This is where you can use it as a facilitation. You accept the meeting as tentative, so it's in your calendar. As you get closer, you should follow up with an email back to the person or reply back to the calendar invite and say, are we still having this meeting? And then what is the agenda that you would like to talk about? So it gives you an in, which is nice, and how you go about checking in it. So like every week, I look at some of those repeated meetings or the day before to my coachees that we have one-on-ones with that are accepted as tentative. And I go, okay, what are we going to meet about? Do we have agenda? Do we have a topic? are we good for tomorrow? And once they reply back yes, I accept it as a definite meeting and then block other things out of the way. So that's how you use calendars. I'm just saying, don't necessarily mark everything except a tentative, especially your boss, unless you tell your boss what you're doing and how you're doing it. They might take offense, but I love it. I love the concept, but that's the one time I say. So if you have big meetings, tentative works. If you have multiple meetings, single meeting, tentative works. Let them know that's what you're going to do. If it's a one-on-one meeting, you might want to look at your calendar and figure out whether or not you accept it, especially if it's your boss. And then the other thing about these tentative meetings, you have to make part of the agreement. We do the coaching agreement. Part of it is you following up. So I'm going to mark a tentative, but I'm going to follow up with you like the day or that week to confirm that that meeting's still on and that you have an agenda. See that coaching thing going on? See, you're coaching the people and how to get their meetings ready, because I usually have them do the invites and make them send out messages and put the agenda so people are interested besides myself. Slick, isn't it? That's a nice one. Anyway, so that's the calendar thing. And the last thing I want to talk about, something I read on LinkedIn today. There was a message that went out in one group, was about definition ready and definition done. And it's kind of surprised, but not surprised, that some people didn't know the difference of it. And I think that goes to where I've been around in multiple companies, different levels of Agile and where they at as a team go, and different teams. Having that mix of background of different experiences of really good performing teams and really crappy teams, right? So it helps to have that. So definition ready, and there's multiple levels depending on the organization. You can go crazy with these definition readies and definition done. And sometimes I think it's overkill, but it depends how much oversight and compliance you have with the organization. But definition ready is really, most of them, is related to whether or not a story is ready for a dev team to do two things: to develop it and test it, right? And to actually, well, the first phase is can they size it, the story, in a refinement session, and then is it ready for development and testing? Those are like the three questions I ask when a story is ready. And the reason being is you got a product owner or business people who write a lot of the stories most of the time, and not always the dev team. Some places we're really high performing, the dev team will write stories alongside the product owner. Other places, the product owner, the BA, and the business side writes the stories or the features and provide them to the team. The team needs to know, based on conversation, hey, PO, we would really like to have a wireframe of what you want, maybe some snapshots, some clearing, maybe some test data, like, hey, we got a new customer. Hey, we need sample sets of what the customer data might look like and what we'll be getting. Maybe there's some architectural dependencies that need to be fixed before the team can actually do it. When all that's addressed, then that's the definition of ready. It meets a definition of ready that allows a dev team and testers and all to size a story, one, and they might say, okay, I have enough information. I can give you a size. That way, the product owner can prioritize, and maybe we should do a session on that. Why we really size beforehand. So why do we do that and not the day of sprint planning? And how does it help the product owner and prioritizing the work? And the other thing is, from the definition of ready, like, is it ready to actually be committed to? So we may identify some stuff, and then there's a ready to be committed to for the sprint planning. The ready to commit to really comes down to dependency work that's been done prior to the team, and plus some other stuff. Like they may say, hey, the product owner might say, I have a meeting on Monday, but this is really important. I'm going to have that meeting with our customer out in the field and get some finalized nuance requirements. But you guys got an idea of what we're going to be doing, and then these are the little nuances that we're going to be building to, and I'll give that to you on Monday. So you might say, okay, we'll take it, but you got to let us have it on Monday, right? Because if you wait too long in the sprint, there won't be enough time to work, and we won't commit to that. So, but that's a definition ready. You can have a definition ready for releasing, dropping code, blah, 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 all the way up down the line until the stuff gets into production. But the basic definition ready is a story ready to one, size, and then two, develop and test. If it's ready for developing and testing, then it's ready by definition. So in those agreements, what the team typically likes. And the nice thing is when the teams work together enough times is why we do a lot of repetitions in the Scrum world and try to keep those time boxes smaller, because more practice the product owner, BAs, or whoever are writing stories and providing information to the team, and the more feedback they get from the team, hopefully we can talk a story on that one. And we're about 15 minutes. We're going to go long here. The better those stories become, and the more easy is the team to meet those requirements. So with that, it is Monday. We're going to cut it short. Please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell. I know a lot of people on LinkedIn are liking the channel on LinkedIn, so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Liking on YouTube works good. We're on Facebook also. Instagram. Trying to do TikTok. We were supposed to do TikTok videos yesterday, but that fell apart. The boy wanted to do TikTok, but we didn't do it. We're all on the podcast. So find us on podcast. You can find us on YouTube. It's all awesome. And you all have a great Monday. We all will survive Monday and have some fun. Take care. Happy scrumming. See ya. Bye.